Hello and welcome to another update video about ICP. Not so exciting at the moment in the short term. The price action is characterized by overlapping price action. In our primary scenario, we have followed the price to the upside in either wave 1 or wave A of a larger ABC structure. Both would be overall still bullish and allow the price to participate in a bullish market after this correction is finished. You can see the main bullish support area here. Doesn't mean the price has to necessarily enter that support area. What is really important for bullish follow through is the $4.12 level. I have a hard time to see the price get there in the current market conditions, but it is, from an objective point of view, the support level below which the price should not drop to maintain overall an overall bullish perspective on the chart, at least in the short term or medium term. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to talk about a bullish structure when looking at the ICP chart, because long term this chart hasn't done anything to give us anything bullish really. Okay, however, obviously the trend is up. I think it started to be up in 1 second. I need to go back to the 4-hour chart. The price started to move up here in September. And it's either an ABC rather large corrective rally, okay, in a larger wave 2 in white, which is the bearish scenario, you could say. Actually, I should change the ABC to white then. And it could also be a more bullish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure, which eventually would take the price above the $42 resistance level, but it needs to prove itself. At the moment, it doesn't matter to me at all if I call it an ABC or a 1, 2, 3, which would get another wave 4 and 5, which would be more bullish, because in both scenarios, as long as the $4.12 level is holding, further upside can be expected. At least it's reasonable to watch for it. That doesn't mean, however, it has to go up only. No, in fact, the short-term structure is not incredibly bullish. At least it doesn't really show strong motivation to break to the upside. I see this still unchanged as an A, B, C corrective structure. The move down in an A wave was a 3-wave move. The move up seems to be a WXY pattern at the moment. Hasn't really changed since the last update. So structurally, we are still basically in the same position. And as soon as we get a break out of this wedge pattern to the downside, it could suggest that this C wave to the downside is unfolding, and it would be the C wave in either wave 2 or wave B. Now, don't get me wrong, it doesn't have to break to the downside, but this is overlapping corrective price action. A break to the upside of the wedge might change that. I have seen it very often that in bullish markets, these ascending wedges that, to be honest, often break to the downside, but that they often in the crypto market, in a bullish market, actually break to the upside, and then it is quite bullish. So what I would say is, if we see that happen, then at least we could also watch for something more bullish. It would be like a signal that this B wave is not topping, or at least not topping yet, and that we see further extensions into this target area, which is actually the wave B target area, and it started at $13.55. We got into that area and got rejected. And $18.49. So this B wave could still stretch higher if it wants to. It's just a little bit constrained by this ascending wedge pattern. A break to the downside of the wedge, I think, could at least indicate the beginning of that C wave to the downside. I mean, again, I'm not saying we come down to $4.12, absolutely not. But I think the area between 682 and 840 would be reasonable. Better confirmation, by the way, that this C wave to the downside is unfolding would be a break below that X wave low. And here we talk about around about $11.22. And then below that level, we have another support at $9.55. But if it is indeed an ABC structure, then the C wave should break eventually below the A wave low. And yeah, ideally should enter the yellow box. So that's sort of how I see the market at the moment. I mean, there is structural resistance indicated here by the green line at $14.24. And we have this swing high as well at $16.30. But overall, yeah, what I see at the moment is just corrective price action. And it just looks like a B wave. It looks like a B wave. Of course, this could turn into a larger B wave. I mean, there are many options, in these corrections that can unfold. For example, this could just be an A wave of that B wave. We get a B wave pullback and then rally and then we come down. That's always possible. I mean, essentially, it's important to recognize where's the support region. Do we have a great setup at the moment? For example, a long trade setup. At the moment, I don't think we have a great setup. Yeah, let me know if you have a better idea in the comments, but that is the count that I think works best. But overall, I also have to say that, of course, the ICP chart doesn't have a very reliable chart. So that's sort of generally, something. I mean, I wouldn't cover ICP myself. I cover it because a lot of viewers are interested and I did get a lot of requests. Okay, so that's why I cover ICP. I do not cover ICP because I think it's such a great chart or because I think it has a very clear structure. It doesn't. Yeah, it's actually quite a short chart history because it's only really started in September with an uptrend. So it's fairly unclear. I don't have a larger time frame, big picture context that I can consider for any bullish perspective. That is what makes it so challenging. Okay, but that's my update about ICP. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.